Hey ladies, it's time to get that money right. Here are a few financial tips from our very own Chairlady, Victoria Moyo.
Hi ladies, my name is Victoria Moyo. I am your wonderful chair lady and welcome to Future Fridays. Yay! So our topic today is financial literacy. I'm here to discuss with you 5 ways in which you can become financially stable. So I know a lot of us ladies are in different walks of our lives. Some are in college, some are in high school, some are graduating, some have already graduated, some are already working in their careers. So whatever walk of life you're in, these 5 tips will help you no matter where you go and no matter what walk of life you're in. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. Feel free to ask any questions, concerns, leave your comments down below and we'll definitely respond to them. So let's jump right into it. So number 1 is start with a budget. You always want to have a budget. I know budgeting is tedious. A lot of us don't like to do it because we don't like to write those long lists of numbers, and I know a lot of us don't like math, so it's like, oh, why do I have to make a budget, but it's actually very helpful. Research has been done that a lot of people who do budgets are actually more prone to become financially stable. So you always want to have a budget sheet or just a notebook in general. And you don't have to make it professional looking or anything. This is for you and for you to keep. So this is for your sake. So you can make it however way you want to make it. You can make it fun. You could have stickers. You can, I don't know. Some ladies become really creative with it. I just keep a notebook. So just a simple notebook will do. So basically what you do in your budget is you have 3 things in your budget. So you draft a budget and then you write your income. So that's the first thing that you write down is your income. So your income is your pay stubs. That's how much money you're getting in. So if you look in your bank account, it's the money that you're getting from your job, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're working from home, whether you're just working in a different, field, whatever you are doing, anything that is coming in, you need to write it down. So that's your income. And then number 2, you write your expenses. So you put that in your budget. So you write your income and then you put your expenses. And then out of that, you subtract your expenses from your income and then you write that as your leftovers. So your leftovers is money that is left over for you to use. So it doesn't matter whether you have a lot of expenses, you need to actually write them down so you know what you need to pay for. So you write your income first and then you write your expenses and then subtract your expenses from your income, and then your leftover money is the money that's left over for you to shop with or go out to eat with. So that's how you draft a budget. It's the simplest way that I've known to write a budget, and it's actually very helpful. I do it myself. I know a lot of ladies who do it. So just start with budgeting. Budgeting is very essential to financial literacy. Number 2 is consider your wants versus your needs. So as we talked about, when you're writing your budget, you have expenses. So your expenses are your wants. Well, actually, no, sorry. Your expenses are your needs. So you have wants and needs. Your needs is what you have to have. So it's essential to your life. So for example, your light bill, your rent, your car expenses, your gas money, your groceries, those are all needs. You need that stuff. So that is your expenses. Your wants are stuff like shopping. So if you want shoes, I love shoes. If you want clothes, if you want your hair done, your nails done, that's a want. So you always want to take care of your needs first before you take care of your wants. Because if you take care of your needs first, that means you have a roof over your head, you have gas, you have your water, and you have the essential stuff that you need, like your groceries. And then you can take care of your wants. So the leftover money that you have after you draft your budget, that's what you can use towards your wants. But you never want to spend all of it. You always want to leave something in your bank. So just consider your wants versus your needs. If you don't need it, don't buy it. So unless you really need those shoes, girl. But all I know is a roof over your head is definitely more important than some shoes. So definitely consider your wants versus your needs. Number 3 is check your budget and your banking account regularly. Always check your bank account regularly, and the reason being, sometimes you have expenses that you don't even know that come in. For example, subscriptions. If you have an iPhone, there's a lot of subscriptions that you might not even know you have. So you want to check your bank account, because sometimes they take out money for that. If you have just unknown bills that you didn't even know, if you have loans that are now starting to come in, like if you graduated, now they're starting to take money, those type of things. So you always want to check your bank account to make sure that your bank account is in fact lining up with your budget. So that you're not overspending or underspending, or I don't know, you can never underspend, but I know some people who just don't even use their money at all. But you don't want to overspend. That's definitely a no-no. So you make sure that you are checking your bank account regularly. And sometimes there might be some fraud. So that leads me into number 4. Always protect yourself from fraud. So never hand out your financial information over the phone. If you have a phone call and they are asking you about your bank accounts, or they need information from you, that's immediately a scam. I know, sadly, some of us fall for it, but that's actually a scam. So don't ever hand out your information online or over the phone unless you know it's secure or you've used that website before. So if it's a shopping website, make sure you've used it before. Don't just put your information on there. Don't give out your social security number, those type of things. Sometimes there is fraud that happens, and when that happens, immediately call your bank to stop that transaction. And then sometimes they'll even refund your money back depending on the type of fraud. So your bank has insurance, so they have the money to give you back. So you always want to make sure that you're protecting yourself and not giving out your financial information to anybody, really, unless it's like a family member or somebody that you trust, you know. But you don't want to just give out your information to everybody. So that leads me to number 5. So number 5 is create a short and long-term savings account. A short-term savings account is something that you need for sure, because sometimes emergencies happen. For example, if your car breaks down, you have to have money to fix it. But batteries are not cheap, you know. What if your car battery is out, or what if your alternator is out, or if you need your AC fixed? You know, it's summer, it's Texas, it's hot. So you definitely need your car. So you want to make sure that you take care of that, but then sometimes you just don't have the money. That's why it's important to always have a savings account that always has money in it. You can start very small. You can start putting in $10 or $20 each month, but you want to make sure that maybe you're keeping at least $500 in that savings account, so that you're not, if you're in an emergency situation, you're not stuck or stranded. I know I've been in those type of situations where I had to like ask a friend or somebody and borrow money, and that's not a good place to be in. You never want to borrow money, because then you have to pay it back, and sometimes with interest, if you're using a loan company or something like that. So just be prepared. I always say it's better safe than sorry. So you always want to be safe. And have a short-term and a long-term savings account. So a long-term savings account is for like your house. I know a lot of us live with our parents. A lot of us live by ourselves. Maybe you have an apartment, whatever, but you're planning on having a house. You're planning on, you know, building on. So if you're one of those people, you definitely need a long-term savings account, and everybody needs a long-term savings account because it helps everybody. Okay, so whether you're going to go to school, whether you're going to go to college, you always want to have funds with you. So a long-term savings account is definitely important as well. But just having a savings account in general is recommended. Every bank recommends it. Every accountant that I know recommends it. Every person who's financially literate knows that it's important to have a savings account. We all know it's common sense, but sometimes I know it's hard. We don't have the savings, or we just don't even have enough money to put in the savings. But just start small. If you don't have enough money, you don't have enough money left over, just start small. Just start saving maybe $5, $10 per week or per month, or whatever is convenient for you. But at least have something saved up in your account so that you're not stranded all the time. So I'm just gonna go over the tips one more time. So number 1 is start with a budget. Always draft a budget. Number 2 is consider your wants versus your needs. Number 3 is check your budget and your banking account regularly. Number 4 is protect yourself from fraud. And then number 5 is always have a savings account, whether it's short-term or long-term. It helps you out either way, but we recommend having both a short-term and a long-term savings account. So that is some tips on how to become financially stable and financially literate. If you have questions, again, please leave them down below. If you have questions, concerns, whatever you have, just let us know. But these tips, I was actually given these tips when I went to a leadership conference. It was a student leadership conference. And they said every leader, every person who wants to be a leader has to become financially stable, has to become financially literate. So that means having basic set of skills that help you in life to become financially stable. So it works for me, and I know it will work for you if you just follow along. Thank you guys so much for tuning into our Future Fridays. So we will have another episode where we discuss finances and how to become an investor or other ways to just earn money. So thank you guys for tuning in today, and I hope this helps somebody. Love you guys so much.
Ooh, ladies, we about to get rich. Thank you, Vicky, and thank you, ladies, for joining in. Tune in next time for another episode. Be blessed.